There we go. It's back up. Okay, so right here, you actually have a good play from Fennel. Talonflame comes in, pops their Unite move, zones off two of them. Basically, the two people that were here are separated from the rest of the team, and they can't defend this goal right here. You got a 3 versus, technically 3.5, because if you count Regieleki, then it's like half a person. You got 3.5 versus one person trying to defend. Umbreon's not here. Absol is out of position right over here. So basically, it's 4.5 people versus 3, and 2 of them are getting zoned out by the Talonflame Unite move. They can't defend, and now you are in a situation where you're on the back foot despite you being ahead majority of the game.
You really want
nice lane sweep into the back line. Fly up top, that's a good KO right there. Yep. You know, that's a way to turn the tides a little bit. Got to shrink that lead, obviously that's important, but you need that momentum that you can gain, like, okay, we can get knockouts here.
Yeah. I was scaled against this comp. It's honestly not that bad, considering 2 of them are melee attackers. Like, 2 of them are melee and one's a ranged attacker, but they're relatively short range.
We have some Unite moves, but Shinki not able to use the Absol Unite. I'm so confused as to why he didn't just turn around and Unite right there. Instead, Fennel just absolutely rips through them at the tier 1.
Okay, and then going back to like right here. So top lane, yeah, top lane was kind of a disaster. Fennel was able to capitalize with the Regieleki. They break the top tier 1. They didn't overcap a single point just because it's 80 on 80, but they still broke the top tier 1. Then they collectively rotate down to the bottom as a group. The problem is, because people were dead and the rest of them are rotating slow, you only have the Umbreon here.
You gotta say, they used a lot of resources for it though. We have some Unite moves, but Shinki not able to use the Absol Unite. I'm so confused as to why he didn't just turn around and Unite right there. Instead, Fennel just absolutely rips through them at the tier 1. They could keep pushing right here, but they make their way to the central area.
Okay, so here, there's a misplay from the people of Alter Ego. Like, obviously, Absol jumping in like this in a 1v4 situation. Like, yeah, the rest of the team is here, but they're kind of ahead of the rest of the team. So I want to think it's more of like a 1v4 rather than a 5 versus 3, because you have literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then, you know, 1, 2, and 3. And of course, keep in mind, Umbreon already used their wish on themselves, so obviously Absol's not going to be getting any defensive stats or healing from that anytime soon. They go in a 1 vs 4, and Spriggles is honestly, like, Spriggles is actually wrong here. It's actually very good that Absol did not Unite move here. Despite them dying and despite them losing the goal, Absol should not be uniting at this point of the game, especially because they're not running Energy Amp as well. So depending on who's getting, like, all this farm over here, like, you know, piece of farm, 1, 2, 3, of course 4 over here, the Bell Toys, whatever. The point is depending on who's getting this farm, unless you're, like, let's say hypothetically Absol decide to use their Unite move right here, if they don't get all this farm, they're not going to have their Unite move in time for Rayquaza, at least not right away. And we already know that in a competitive match, especially when people are willing to fight at the drop of the hat, you need to have your Unite move by the time it spawns. No ifs, ands, or buts. If they Unite move here, they're probably going to get screwed over later. So despite them getting absolutely rolled right here, the consolation is that they didn't use their most valuable resource.
That moment. You gotta say, they used a lot of resources for it though. We have some Unite moves, but Shinki not able to use the Absol Unite. I'm so confused as to why he didn't just turn around and Unite right there. Instead, Fennel just absolutely rips through them at the tier 1. They could keep pushing right here, but they make their way to the central area. Wow! How unfortunate for Alter Ego. I mean, they hit their move, they just couldn't throw their Unite, or they decided to disengage.
Maybe seeing that the time was running out, wasn't convinced they'd be able to get it back in time. Maybe that was a split decision. I mean, I feel like it would have been close, so it's worth throwing there if they had the ability. But I mean, now we got 10 seconds, and we got 40 points approximately to split, 38 points that split these teams.
That was such a huge turnaround. They came within 40 points of a 200-point deficit. Oh, hold on a minute, they're actually gonna fight right here. Moving in, looking for Talon into the air. Mewtwo catches multiple buzz Buzzwole grabs who? Blaziken
94.
goes down. Talonflame moving in, picking up a KO. Mewtwo right over the wall, and Absol grabs him.
Shingdi with the save right there. Now they're going to beat the brakes
Oh
up
my
in slow mo.
gosh.
They are smothering them down.
They're low.
Okay. Okay.
What?
Wow, here we go.
He's so low.
So
I don't think
low.
Shingdi
No,
can make
I
some
don't
rain.
think they can.
You gotta
Also,
back the
with
timer.
Blaziken coming back here.
And Mewtwo coming back.
A quadra for Shingdi in that fight. But yeah, you may genuinely turning that entire thing around.
Yes.
2 knockouts on an Eldegoss. I mean, hey, Eldegoss carving out a place for itself in the metagame still.
Listen, we got to do this with no Unite moves now. We're going to see how they play. Are they going to try and go for cheeky scores? Are they going to try and play for the center? I mean, either way, we're doing this thing regular.
Absol's farming a Unite right now. I mean, they're looking for it right here. Huge catch on Talon.
That is such a huge misplay by Talonflame right there.
Very, very bad news for Fennel. They're going to keep pushing forward
Guys,
right here.
Shingdi's
That's
on
a
it.
double. I mean, this feels like it's over. Alter Ego just ripping through them.
Ice needs to babysit Shingdi. That's what they need to do right now. They cannot let Yume step back up or this Mewtwo step back up. Z-Ray's low.
Kind of shocked they're going for
Unite
this.
move
They
right
take
there.
it.
And taken by Z-Ray, able to step up. Just Serrata standing.
Okay, at this point, I can just rewind and go back to the actual beginning of the fight, just because we already know how it ends here. So here, Talonflame sees multiple members. They use their fly. They land it on 2 people. Obviously, landing your fly is good, but they're landing it on the wrong people. Like, you're using your fly, which is your repositioning mechanism, as well as your damage, like, one of your damaging skills on 2 people that are not a priority, which is the Psyduck and the Umbreon. Like, out of all the people on the enemy team that you could be focusing, those are the worst people to be focusing. Because you're focusing the front line. And then you're leaving yourself exposed to the damage dealers that are literally relatively close by. Like, you have Buzzwole in the Pixel Bush, and you have Buzzwole in the Pixel Bush right here. You have Espeon literally right here. You have Umbreon right here. So, 1, 2, 3. Now, at this point, the only skills that you have left are your Flame Charge and your Unite move. So you're putting yourself in a very precarious position as one of the most valuable members of your team. I personally don't think this is a good play at all. And then it cascades into a domino effect. But let's continue and see what happens here.
Moving in.
Yeah, so Talonflame is forced to use their Unite move because they're in a position where they are literally behind a wall. They pop their Unite move backwards, but it doesn't really do much in terms of displacement because they collide into the wall and they just get stuck there. Mewtwo on Fennel pop their Unite move, so it's a okay Unite move. Like, it's not the greatest thing. Like, it's a good Unite move. The problem is, like, it doesn't do a lot of damage. Espeon pops a Unite move as well, so it's like you got sucked into this choke point, this little tight corridor, and everyone's just spamming their skills. So you got the Mewtwo Unite move, you got the Talonflame Unite move, you got the Espeon Unite move, you got the Psyduck passive. Absol is literally just running at the Blaziken. Buzzwole pops her Unite move onto the Blaziken and gets the kill secure. So at this point, despite everyone spamming their skills, only Blaziken goes down right now. But also, Absol popped their Unite move as well. Trade 1 for 1. Absol is going on a killing spree right here. Now they're going to start focusing everyone off. Everyone burned their Unite move, so Absol doesn't have to worry about any resources being used on them because there's nothing left. There's no Eldegoss Unite move. There's no Slowbro Unite move. 3 people are dead. You can just run at people, and they're not going to do shit to you.
With the save right there. Now they're going to beat the brakes
Oh
up
my
in slow mo.
gosh.
They are smothering them down.
They're low.
Okay.
Wow, here we go.
So at the end of the day, it is not the end of the world because the game is still playable from this point on. Like, yes, everyone gets aced on your team, but you trade 5 for 4. That being said, Absol's too low to do the Rayquaza, and there's not enough time anyways before Blaziken spawns. Like, as an Absol player myself, I can tell you for a fact that if Absol tried to 1v1 this Rayquaza at this point, not only would they not secure it in time because they don't have enough damage, they would also probably die in the process. But yeah, so obviously Shingdi doesn't try to do it, which is good. He decides to go for the reset, and then you're gonna have another 5v5 fight.
A quadra for Shingdi in that fight. But yeah, you may
So we can fast forward just a little bit, just until everyone gets in position. Now, here's the problem. Ton GG kind of throws this endgame because he did something silly again. Like, of course, you know, you're in the heat of the moment, you are playing on the competitive stage, so you might get, like, you might have those nerves going for you, but this was just silly. Like, when you're watching this from a viewer perspective, it's like, you question what this Talonflame is doing.
Either way, we're doing this thing
Okay,
regular.
so Talonflame uses their fly preemptively, they're looking for, like, targets, whatever, but then they land on top of the Altaria camp, but then it's just like, because they use their fly preemptively, that allows Psyduck to position their skills to CC the Talonflame. They get pulled by the Psychic, and then now Xingdi just runs at them, because he has no fly, no flame charge, no Unite move, he's on cooldown for everything. Like, even if he wanted to at this point, he literally cannot do anything. He's not running full heal either, he's running eject button, so once you get stunned, you're CC locked. You get hit by the Psyduck, you get hit by the Surf, now Absol comes in, Pursuit, Cycle Cut, you're just dead, 1v3. And now you're in a position where it's a 5v4 now, if you even want to call it that, but your team is just getting rolled over now because they tried to bail you out.
They're going to keep pushing forward right here. That's a double. I mean, this feels like it's over.
And then at this point, you have a 5 versus 3, and your primary damage dealers, which is the Blaziken and Talonflame, they're both dead. Like, yeah, you have a Slowbro. Yeah, you have your Eldegoss and Mewtwo. Mewtwo's at less than half HP. But it is also, keep in mind, it's also support Mewtwo. Scald Slowbro, not very threatening at this stage of the game, especially by themselves.
Ice needs to babysit Xingdi. That's what they need to do right now. They cannot let Yume step back up or this Mewtwo step back up. Z-Ray's low.
I'm shocked they're going.
And then the thing is, personally, at this point in the game, Alter Ego don't even need to necessarily do Rayquaza, but they're confident with their numbers that they can win the 5v3. But the thing is, Team Fennel don't have a choice. If you see the enemy pulling the Rayquaza in front of you while you're losing as well, you have no choice. You have to go to the objective and hope you can out-secure them. The problem is, in a 5v3 situation with no secure at all, because your Talonflame and your Blaziken are dead, it's just really unlikely. Like, the irony here is that Alter Ego presented them the best situation for themselves, considering they were in a 5v3, is just the probability of success is so low that it's just not realistic that they're going to win.
And taken by Z-Ray, able to step up. Just Serrata standing. Oh, what a game.
And then they get the Rayquaza, everyone scores, and at this point, there's no time, there's no points. People are still dead, and then you can just fast forward to, you know, the end of the match. There's really not much else to be said there.
Confused as to still why they chose Fly. I didn't feel like there were any really great targets for Fly.
But I think overall, like, Team Fennel were just making poor decisions, and then they continuously got punished for them. There was one point of the game where they showed signs of life, where they made that top lane Regieleki play, then they rotated bottom, and they made a play there. Like, they put themselves in a position where, despite the early game, like, those two solid plays put them back in the game. Like, it was still playable, it's just, in the last two team fights, they just kind of choked.
Because Tone is saying, I want to play Fly into what we're seeing so far. Yeah. Theoretically, you can make an argument that maybe Bravebird is stronger.
Okay, I'm going to play an ad here, and then I'm going to continue with the next match, so I'll just get it set up.
Crushed it this game.
Oh, yeah.
The first part of the game. So credit to Alter Ego, again, composure.
Away from them as well.
Ban Absol. Immediate ban.
Yes.
Leafeon right the other way. Psyduck has the second ban from Fennel.
Oh, is he going to be left up to be open? Yeah.
Yeah, they do not want to deal with this arena.
Okay, so a lot of power picks available, mostly in the support category, of course. Psyduck the only one in that role getting banned. Talonflame will still be the first pick, but
wow, they could go like Blissey Umbreon here.
Umbreon feels awesome here.
I mean,
I love that draft pick. It's like one of my favorites. Just feel like I'm never going to lose if we lock in that option. And currently, Alter Ego feeling it too.
There we go.
I mean, it's so strong.
Yep.
It's so strong. And like they naturally give good coverage to the first pick that Fennel went with, which is a great spot to be in. You're not just choosing raw power. It actually plays well into what they're doing.
And also, those two picks played really well on the team with Talonflame, so you want to get them away from them as well. So it's just all one big win, 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 win. Okay, are we actually going to see the first Comfey? We are going to see the first Comfey. I think I expected a pretty good amount of Comfey this weekend.
Same. I feel the same way. You could easily see it.
Snap Zera Aura too.
I like this pick a lot.
Yeah, how's it going, Dirty? Welcome to the stream.
Inteleon as well. So like, if I'm Ultra Ego, I think we're feeling very comfortable right now.
Yeah, Fennel's gonna go back to the Slowbro again. I was kind of concerned about that because they were holding Serrata's pick for so long. I don't know. I'm not confident in this pick whatsoever, especially after game one. We'll see if they can pull it off. Game number two, Machio.
Okay.
They're bringing the Dodrio, and oh, do we actually get Meowscarada? Would be so sick.
I mean, this would be a while. They have two speedsters on both sides.
This is actually the Glaceon King.
Yeah. This feels like the Buzzwell game again.
Yes,
to be honest.
But I mean,
yeah,
let's go, Meowscarada.
I mean, maybe agility and full heal is just simply too much for Buzzwell to play into in that spot. Like, Dodrio's got a lot of moves to ignore those pulls. On the other hand,
okay, I'm gonna be honest here. I've noticed this problem a lot, and of course, whether it comes back to bite them in the butt or it works on their favor, I have no idea. Yeah, Fennel is the team that won Worlds, but this tournament, like, from the games that I've seen, and of course, like, the future matches that we'll probably see, like, they've not been playing good. Like, last match was an absolute disaster for them. Like, going into the draft, okay, so you have the Umbreon ban, oh, sorry, not Umbreon, Absol ban. Absol ban first, Leafeon ban, followed by the Psyduck and the Serena. So there are two Pokemon from last game that are no longer playable. So that just means you're going to have a completely different draft. The Serena ban is definitely a target ban. Like, Serena hasn't been touched in terms of buffs or updates. Like, hasn't been buffed or nerfed recently. So this is definitely a target ban more than everything else. So Fennel, obviously, switching sides, they have first pick. You have a lot of stuff available. You have the Talonflame, you have the Zera, you have the Meowscarada, you have the Gengar, you have the Blissey. Like, you have a lot, oh, and of course the Talonflame. Like, you have a lot of options here. Their priority here is the Talonflame. Now, it's not that I don't think Talonflame is a good Pokemon. It's just that allowed so many things to be available. And I don't think Talonflame is, like, the #1 priority. But obviously, they have a strategy in mind, and they want to execute that. Giving away the Blissey and the Umbreon, it's like, for me, it's like a huge red flag. I've already said this so many times. Like, in terms of the supports, you know, we'll just put subs. I think the top 3 right now are Blissey. In no particular order, by the way. Okay. In terms of, like, the supports that are available in competitive play right now, I think the top 3, like, in no particular order, are Blissey, Hoopa, and Psyduck. Psyduck is constantly banned. In terms of Psyduck, it's like, it has so much utility, it's just obnoxious. And it's like a semi-frontliner with its passive, which is also, like, it's a multi-purpose support. Blissey can pretty much fit into any single team comp that you can possibly think of. Not to mention, Blissey has 2 different types of playstyles. You can go for, like, a hyper carry pocket build, where with your Helping Hand and Safeguard, or you can go utility, which is like a combination of Soft Boiled and Helping Hand, or Soft Boiled and Egg Bomb, so you can get more heals. And then Hoopa, assuming Hyperspace Hole is available, and of course you do have Trick as well. You just have the flexibility to play different playstyles. It's similar, but not as potent as Blissey when it comes to the pocket build, where you just like pocket someone with Safeguard and Bliss Assistance, or sorry, like Bliss Assistance, Safeguard, and Helping Hand. Trick functions similarly, but it's not on the same level. And then you have Hyperspace Hole if that's available, which is the micro plays and the macro plays, like managing yourselves across the map. I do think Comfey is actually pretty good as well in this speedster meta. It synergizes well with a lot of speedsters. I've said that before, but I don't think it's in the same category as the other 3. I think it's just like a little bit like maybe like a tier below. So you give away the Blissey, which is obviously like an S tier support right now. Umbreon, top support is sorry, not support, top defender available right now. Not to mention it's like a soft counter to Blissey. So when you allow these two to get paired together, you're basically taking away the one character in this game that has the potential to shut down a Blissey if you're playing it properly. But even then, a good Blissey player will be mindful of an Umbreon as well. So you give away these two, and of course, because you're picking your support and your defender, you're not revealing too much about your team comp at this point in time. So Talonflame was first. Let's just number them off. 1, 2, 3, and now you have the 4 and 5. So you're picking up your support and you're picking up your Gyarados in the top lane. You already know for a fact that Gyarados is going to go to lane because Gyarados jungle is not a thing. It doesn't clear like that, and you wouldn't get a Gyarados even after your jungle clear. So yeah, obviously. 6, 7. You have your Inteleon. You have your Speedster. Obviously, Inteleon is very strong. Zera is the contested speedster, but I feel like Zera is not as contested over here in Asia than it is in North America, for example. Like as you can see, it's made its way to the 4th round of picks, and then now Fennel are picking up their defender, and then another speedster, which is their Dodrio. So obviously, this tells me that it's either going to be you or you. Either the Dodrio is going to jungle or the Talonflame. Gyarados jungle is not a thing. So you kind of reveal pretty much everything at this point. And then now they decide to pick up the Meowscarada to round out their team. So you have double speedsters on both teams. But the thing is, Alter Ego, at the very least on paper, have more utility to kind of support their damage dealers. Like, of course, you have, depending on what movesets they go, whether they go Soft Boiled or Helping Hand and Safeguard, etc., that just means the Umbreon can either go Wish for the heals and, of course, the resistances, and then you have the utility of either going Snarl or Mean Look. Really up to them and how they decide to allocate their movesets, but Alter Ego just have a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to different options.
Double team is really great into Slowbro because you can, get them to waste their...
So we'll just fast forward to
People are
start of the game.
Yeah. Ready to go?
Yeah. I'm not gonna do any ridiculous.
Ready? Go!
I'm just gonna hold it like this.
Urshifu, your orange team. Urshifu, your purple team.
So this is one of those production issues where it took them like 20 minutes to start the game.
We have seen some teams. Was it Alter?
Part of the reason why I'm glad to watch the VOD.
the great Hollowware.
If you were watching that live, you would have been sitting there for 25 minutes for this game to start.
That's true, I know. I don't think he's heard me a single time today.
Yeah. Wink. Here we are. Wink, wink.
I need to just turn sideways when I speak.
So far, the right amount of hats,
Yeah.
which is maximum, I suppose.
Thank goodness. Meowscarada stacking up here on the top path.
Don't like the necklace?
On here comes the acrobatics. They're moving in, trying to finish this off. The passive for Meow might be able to get him out, but they actually use it. And check. This is huge. Huge catch. They wanted that obviously to go over the Magikarp, but either way, that catch is massive.
Yeah, then the Magikarp scored as well.
Allowing yourself to get killed by a Magikarp lane, despite it being a 3 versus 2, is obviously horrible. You're just allowing the Gyarados to you're allowing the Magikarp to get into a Gyarados that much quicker. Even though they got the assist, their evolution bar just skyrockets, and now you have a Gyarados 1 minute into the game.
We'll figure that out when the time comes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we have yet another Slowbro game from Serrano, but so far, have you seen this gold? I don't think so.
No, I haven't seen what they're running yet.
Yeah, we might be looking at a Surf Pro this time around. That's a lot of damage. It is Surf Pro.
Wow. Huge.
Welcome back, Lucapo, I suppose. Nice little Dodrio play there to yoink some of the enemy team. Ikura not at level 4 yet. This poor Chansey not going to have the defensive abilities to outlast long.
Welcome back, Fennel, as well. I'm putting that out there. Not looking great in game number 1, but boy, is this different.
Yeah, so at least this game, Fennel are looking significantly stronger in contrast to last game. You have winning lanes all across the board. Everyone's scaling exponentially faster. You have an almost level 7 Dodrio, level 7 Talonflame, level 7 Gyarados. You get a Gyarados literally 1 minute and like 5 seconds into the game, which is amazing, actually.
Is this weird to say? This feels like with these
Alter
ones,
Ego needs some more time to scale before they can actually be relevant enough to actually
having a point lead feels way bigger
contest
in this
anything.
matchup when it comes to the end game, just because knockouts are going to be happening at an unreal rate. Where, like, everybody's going to be 13 guaranteed by these final moments.
Yeah, you got to assume so, right?
At least I think, yeah, we'll see.
Talon moving in, crash landing there with Fly, and they're going to put points in the control zone. Up top, you can see Alter Ego trading a little bit there, 139.67. The objective is pretty free for Fennel, but we've actually got Talon making their way to the top half. No, we're actually clear out the center.
Now, enemy central. Yeah, Ton's got a really good mental lock on those enemy central area timers. They got both buffs. You see a red and a blue.
Whoa!
All the way. That was so close.
He'll get some KO, too.
That was a berserk attempt at that. I really, truly appreciate that. That
Timing, too. He had the time that eject button right before he hit the wall.
That was pretty beautiful.
Pretty cool attack coming out of Ton's down play.
Really impressive play. Heading up to score in this top half right here.
Yeah, they're definitely going to defend this, but I mean, the big thing is the center area. Again, so many teams fighting the center area. Obviously, again, spawns is going to be really big. Doesn't seem like Fennel's going to have too much of an attempt to actually fight for any of those. They're chilling. Definitely the biggest thing that they could do right now that would throw them the game is let themselves get picked.
So I should have probably stopped it right here. Although Alter Ego are not doing so hot right now, the one thing that they've done, like in contrast to last game, the one thing that they did that Fennel should have done is the fact that they recognize they're in a position where they're not able to contest bottom lane. Like, they don't have the levels. Obviously, they gave up a lot of early game kills. They're down in experience. They don't even have a bottom lane goal. So instead of wasting their time bottom, what they're doing here is they're pressuring the opposite side of the map because they know that people are bottom lane. They don't necessarily know how many people exactly, but at the very least, they're not wasting time rotating bottom for an objective that they're not going to be able to secure. And instead, they're getting the free objective top lane because everyone's grouped here. They already have the goal. And yeah, Talonflame did try for the steal attempt, but that was a little optimistic to be fair.
For any of those, they're chilling. Definitely the biggest thing that they could do right now that would throw them the game is let themselves get picked off, right? They're at that exact spot where it's like, we want to hold on to this level lead so we continue to push the score lead, so everything just starts snowballing, but, you know, one big mistake, oh my god, that was a little scary. One big mistake just turns everything around.
I gotta admit, one of the moves I'm really surprised by in this match is magically fun pump fake. With so many of these big burst moments, it feels like landing a pretty sick grass knot would be like make or break for some of these moments, but instead going with very consistent damage and stun power, and going with, of course, a floral healing for that amplified heals.
It also is able to, you know, provide you with some nice...
Okay, so at this stage of the game, there's really not much going on. Like, right now, there's no objectives on the map, there's very little farm, so everyone's kind of just playing passive, waiting for the next big thing to happen, whether it be the objective or a team fight. In terms of this, like, at this point in the game, it's...
Do you know why?
Mashio started feeling under the weather.
Like, it's close in terms of points, but in terms of overall experience, Team Fennel are in the lead.
Okay, well, you know, it's why you have a sub, too. Yeah,
You have two... I do not know what's going on top lane here.
Dragon breath their way, but it looks like they're going to continue this fight. Terra Aura moving in. Meowscarada lands the flower trick, but Gary heads underwater and catches 3 with that.
Great Bliss assistance coverage, though. Once Gyarados is committed, they went in and followed. But
Gyarados is still fine. They got the Cold Fade back up. That's wild. They were even fighting outside of the flowery fields. This is incredible from P. I mean, the Bliss assistance look great. Bought them a little time, but P just crushing it on this Gyarados.
Yeah, I don't even know what happened top lane. Like, it happened so quickly that... Okay. So let me see what happened. So you have people split across the map. You have Gyarados, Comfy, and Talonflame topside. You have Dodrio and Slowbro bottom lane. Meowscarada is topside, and Zera and... Who is that? Meowscarada, Zera, Inteleon, Umbreon. Okay, so it's Blissey, sorry. So Meowscarada, Blissey, and Zera are topside versus the Gyarados, Talonflame, and the Comfy.
Under the weather.
Talonflame... Gyarados is trying to score here. Talonflame goes in. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, you have a 2v2 fight. Slowbro and Inteleon versus the Dodrio and the Umbreon. You can see that Dodrio is taken very low. So they're pretty much almost dead. But they're able to get away. Eject button from Slowbro. I'm guessing Talonflame played aggressive. They got in range of the Zera Unite move. They got tagged. Now that Unite move is following them. They get CC'd briefly, but get killed secured by the Meowscarada. So now it's a 3 vs 2. Gyarados turns their bounds, pops a Unite move, Bliss is onto Zera. Umbreon's here, also pops a Unite move.
Gyarados is still fine. They got the Cold Fade back up. That's wild. They were even fighting outside of the flowery fields. This is incredible from P. I mean, the Bliss assistants look great. Bought them a little time.
Yeah, kind of back and forth, but overall,
Gary had a real big moment there.
in terms of kills, I think it was a relatively great. Blissey gets caught out as well by the Talonflame.
Yeah. Eager to try to get the Unite move back.
That honestly shouldn't have even happened considering Talonflame was dead and Blissey out of position, but here we are.
This is a scary combination to Convey on the Gyarados because the amount
I guess the consolation is the fact that they lower their dead timer and they get some Unite energy back considering they used it earlier.
Convey's going to heal you that much more because you're going to be alive for that much longer, and then it kind of just builds on itself. And like we saw that fight, like, I cannot believe he didn't go down.
Yeah, it's terrifying. Ooh, actually able to outspeed them through the speed parry. No eject button over that wall, unfortunately.
Talon moving in, I mean, really aggressive.
Yeah, able to make it out.
The Unite move. Weird play, but okay. They're fine.
If they were there, it would have been sick, you know?
Yeah.
If they landed on that Meowscarada, it would have been a big payoff. Goes in again. I mean, Ton really trying to rally the troops here with some of these dives.
Yeah, I mean, really aggressive, and you like this play from the speed swing. You're hoping you get a little more, right? You're hoping you always trade up a bit. If you're going to go down, you take 2 with you. Unite move here from Dodrio, a little late. Sarah Aura Unite move back the other way. Follows him, but Dodrio able to make it out.
So, one of those situations where you would go deep in that is if your team is trying to get, like, pressure or points somewhere else on the map, but they weren't.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like a really slow roll by Fennel trying to back up his Talonflame, and fortunately...
Okay, so 139 to 95, still close in terms of points. Literally less than 50-point difference, 1 minute till Rayquaza spawns. In terms of overall levels, it's actually relatively even for the most part. Wasabi? Wasabi, bro, what's up?
Yeah. You also need to tell you can't solo clear. Right? You gotta have backup now, because that Talonflame could be lurking.
Could be anywhere. In the skies.
In the sky.
Xingdi level 12 is a bit concerning, I think, with 2 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Oh, fully. Yeah, they're way under level here.
Yeah. P in the same boat on Gyarados. Lucapo also at 12. Like, it's been a slow game because despite having so much damage on both sides, the team fighting has actually been kind of at a minimum.
Here's the reality. Ooh. Moving in. Talon takes the sky, hits Blissey. We can see the Blissey system early.
Right. Flower Trick takes about half the range. We have to Convey Unite, but he gets forced out pretty early.
Yeah, they get the trap. That's huge.
Wow.
I don't know what Tanjiji is doing here. Like, this is like the most, like, brain rot play I have ever seen, like, in this series so far.
Here's the reality. Ooh.
Okay,
Also at 12.
so even before we get into this fight, like generally speaking, how I would position myself, and like I'll put myself into the position of both teams. So obviously, despite it being a small lead, it's still a lead regardless. So yeah, purple team are winning by less than 50 points. Essentially, they have the bottom lane goal. They have the bottom lane goal on the bottom side, and then of course on the opposite side, the orange team has the top side. So if I were the orange team, I'd be playing around top side vision, because you have your goal up here, and if worst case, you fall back towards your flux zone, your goal for a little bit of sustain and safety. Same thing when it comes to the purple team. You have your goal on the bottom side, you have the point lead. Essentially, you play around bottom side because you have the goal, and same thing. If you find yourselves in a precarious situation, you play around bottom side. Don't see the mouse?